How did a group of 13 colonies become a global superpower? It started with a war for survival. The American Revolution wasn't just a local rebellion, it was a victory over the world's most formidable empire, Great Britain. Victory unlocked the power of global trade. No longer bound by British restrictions, the new nation could chart its own economic course. The war established a framework of republicanism, a brand of soft power that America would export to the world for centuries. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 officially recognized the United States as a sovereign nation, capable of forming its own alliances. This wasn't just the birth of a country, it was the foundation of a hyperpower. But to lead the world, America would have to defend its credibility. Independence was won, but could it be held? In 1812, the young United States faced its greatest test yet. Britain, the world's undisputed naval superpower, sought to restrict American trade and challenge its very sovereignty. The Capitol fell, and the White House burned. For many, it seemed the American experiment was nearing a premature end. But at Fort McHenry, through a night of relentless bombardment, the flag remained, a symbol of resilience that would birth a national anthem. A stunning victory at New Orleans proved that American spirit could overcome the world's most disciplined armies once again. The war ended in a stalemate, but it established national credibility. Europe now knew the United States was a permanent fixture in the West. By the 1840s, a new vision took hold of the American spirit: manifest destiny, the belief that the nation was destined to span the entire continent. This ambition led to a direct conflict with Mexico. In 1846, war erupted over disputed territory, setting the stage for a massive continental shift. American forces pushed deep into Mexican territory, capturing key strongholds and eventually entering Mexico City itself. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848 added over 500,000 square miles of territory. At once, the United States became a continental giant. This expansion secured the gold of California, the oil of Texas, and the vast resources necessary for an industrial future. Crucially, America was now a two-ocean power. This geographic advantage would become a core requirement for its eventual status as a superpower. The foundation for continental hegemony was complete. But a deeper internal conflict was brewing that would test the nation's very survival. By 1861, the internal rift finally fractured. The Civil War was the ultimate test of American industrial and federal power. The war required a massive mobilization. To sustain it, the North transformed into a centralized, efficient machine of production. Victory shifted power from individual states to a centralized federal government capable of national planning. Following the war, industry exploded. Coal production rose by 800%, outproducing leading empires in steel. Thousands of miles of new tracks unified the continent into a single, integrated market for the first time. By the 1880s, the U.S. surpassed Britain as the world's leading manufacturer. The unified giant had arrived. With domestic power secured, the nation looked beyond its shores. The leap to global empire was about to begin. By 1898, the United States was ready to look beyond its continental borders. The target was the decaying Spanish Empire. In a swift 10-week conflict, the nation defeated Spain, securing a victory that would fundamentally shift its posture from continental defense to global intervention. The resulting treaty granted the United States control of Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines, and led to the annexation of Hawaii. With new strategic bases in both the Caribbean and the Pacific, America had built the architecture of a global naval empire. The splendid little war signaled that the United States had arrived as a major player on the world stage, capable of projecting power across oceans. These new territories were more than just military outposts. They were gateways to new markets, ensuring that American economic might followed the flag. The era of global empire had begun, but the true scale of American power would be forged in the catastrophic fires of the First Global War. In 1914, the world descended into conflict. For 3 years, America watched as European empires exhausted their blood and treasure. The Great War was the turning point for American finance. Before 1914, the U.S. was a debtor nation. By 1919, it was the primary creditor. While European infrastructure was decimated, the American homeland remained untouched, its industrial heart beating faster than ever. When America entered the fray in 1917, its industrial and military might tip the scales, proving it could decide a global conflict. The dollar began its ascent, challenging the British pound. The financial center of gravity had officially crossed the Atlantic. The war left the United States as a reluctant global leader. but a far greater storm was gathering that would permanently define the American century. By 1941, the world was engulfed in total war. The United States was about to undergo a total transformation. The arsenal of democracy ignited an economic surge. By 1945, the U.S. produced half of the world's manufactured goods. As the war ended, America held nearly 2/3 of global gold reserves. Its GDP had nearly doubled. The atomic bomb gave the U.S. a monopoly on the world's most destructive technology, a position of unparalleled military might. America led the creation of the United Nations, the World Bank, and the IMF, writing the post-war rules in Washington. The war transformed the U.S. into the world's primary security provider, with a military presence reaching every corner of the globe. The American superpower had been born, but a new ideological struggle was already emerging from the shadows. The peace of 1945 was short-lived. A new struggle emerged, not for territory, but for the soul of global civilization. The Cold War had begun. America adopted a policy of containment, vowing to use its military and economic might to hold the line anywhere on Earth. In 1950, the Cold War turned hot in Korea. It proved the United States would commit its blood to contain communism anywhere on the globe. This era birthed NATO and a permanent network of hundreds of bases, cementing America's role as the primary policeman of the world. At home, the military-industrial complex took root, intertwining economic prosperity with a permanent state of military readiness. The hyperpower was fully mobilized, but a new kind of war was looming in the jungles of Southeast Asia that would test the limits of American power. By the 1960s, the Cold War's containment policy led America into the dense, unforgiving jungles of Southeast Asia. It was a new and grueling kind of warfare. The Vietnam War became a rare and painful check on American power, sparking unprecedented domestic unrest and a deep reassessment of global intervention. Yet, from the struggle came a fundamental modernization. The military transitioned into a highly professional, all-volunteer force, focused on quality and specialized training. The conflict also accelerated the development of sophisticated electronic and precision-guided weaponry, technologies that would define the next generation of dominance. Though a moment of limits, the lessons of Vietnam transformed the American machine. The nation was preparing for its most dominant moment yet. By 1991, the United States was the world's sole superpower. The Gulf War displayed a military machine so advanced it could dismantle a major army in weeks. The attacks of September 11th ushered in the War on Terror, expanding the global security footprint. Special operations and intelligence became the new front lines. This era normalized drone warfare and precision operations, allowing the hyperpower to project force with surgical accuracy anywhere on the planet. By 2024, the American defense budget exceeded the next 10 countries combined. With over 750 bases worldwide, the nation maintained an unparalleled presence. The US dollar remained the primary reserve currency, ensuring that global transactions reinforced the American architecture of power. From 13 colonies to a global hyperpower, the story of America is a story of transformation through conflict. A nation forged in war, now defining the global order. We have traced a journey across 2.5 centuries, from a desperate fight for survival to the heights of global dominance. At every turn, conflict served as the engine of transformation. Each war forced the nation to modernize, to centralize, and to project its power further than ever before. America didn't just build a military, it built the very architecture of the modern world. Its economy, its currency, and its institutions became the global standard. Today, as the world's primary security provider, the American hyperpower maintains a presence that touches every corner of the globe, a legacy of centuries of mobilization. How did wars make America a superpower? By proving that through every conflict, its strength only grew. From 13 colonies to a unified giant, the story of America is the story of power forged in fire. This has been the story of how wars made America a superpower. Thank you for watching.